Okay, so can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Give me a minute. Start. Okay, let's start now. So, um, so what we did, let me just check what we did. Oh yeah, so what we did last time were the Romans and the Persians. So first we talked about the Persians and how the Persians decided to attack the Muslims. No, actually, yeah, attack the Muslims. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu sent a letter to them, and asked the leader, do you like become Muslim? Then we want to attack you. But then the leader replied by sending a whole army, which the Muslims defeated, and because of that, the Muslims gained lots of land in Persian territories. Yep, that was one thing we did. The second thing that we did was Rome, the Romans. Okay, so for the Romans, what happened was the Muslims actually fought the Romans once during the what do you call it? They actually didn't fight; they ran away. It was in Tabuk. Basically, the Muslims and Rasulullah SAW went for a battle, and because the Romans were supposed to attack at a place called Tabuk, but when they reached there, the Muslims stayed there for 20 days, but the Romans were too scared to fight them and then never appeared. Okay, next, Rasulullah SAW sent Usama radiallahu anhu and his army and some people, not some people, like a whole army, to go fight the Romans. But Rasulullah passed away at that time, so that never happened. But Abu Bakr later on sent Usama radiallahu anhu, and they won. The Muslims won. So this time, after the 11 armies that were taking care of the rebels around Arabia, after that got settled, all the 11 armies got together under the leadership of Khalid bin Walid. And then they went and fought the Romans, who literally chained themselves to the ground because they were like, we're not gonna flee. But they still fled. Like they broke their chains and left. That's how and then the Muslims won. It was a huge battle, 200,000 Romans versus I think 40,000 Muslims, and the Muslims won. That's what we did yesterday. Now we're on to illness of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. This is basically the end of his time now. Okay, so when the illness of Sayadina Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu took a serious turn, he called a shura, or advisory council, to consult with them about his successor, because he's dying now, so obviously he needs to think of a successor who will take over leadership after him. And so he called the people of shura. Shura is like his people, like it's basically like the government, you could say. Not the government, like the advisory council. He talks with them consults with him. They advise him what to do and stuff. So Sayyidina Abu Bakr put his proposal forward for Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu to be the next Khalifa. Okay, most of them agreed with the proposal except for the objection by some of the companions about his strictness. Okay, they were saying that he's too strict. Abu Bakr himself said Umar, and most people agreed, but some people were like, no, he's too strict, so we can't really, I don't know if it'll work out. It was the only ground on which Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu and Sayyidina Talha also did not agree with Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu rejected the plea on the grounds that the burden of Khilafat would make them milder. As there was no opposition of the view of Sayyidina Abu Bakr, Sayyidina Umar declared to be the next Khalifa, and all the companions, including Ali and radiallahu anhu and Talha radiallahu anhu, agreed to it. Okay, so what this means, basically, everyone was like, who should be the next Khalifa, and Abu Bakr was like, I propose that Umar radiallahu anhu should be the next Khalifa. And everyone were like, yes, and some people were like, no, only because he was too strict. Like he was a very strict, person. But Abu Bakr said, the khilaf, if you were to anyone were to become the Khalifa, it will make you more milder, meaning it will make you softer, right? But Umar radiallahu anhu was already so strict that he wouldn't become softer if you're Khalifa. You know how kings, when they become a king or when they're a king, they just, they're lazy, they do whatever they want because, they kind of rule everything. They don't really care. So that's what he's trying to say. When you're the leader, you kind of slack off. But Umar radiallahu anhu was a very strict person, so he wouldn't slack off. So everyone agreed to that. That they were like, if no one else would be able to handle it if it wasn't Umar radiallahu anhu. So everyone agreed for Umar radiallahu anhu to become the next Khalifa. Okay, so illness and death in Jamad al-Akhir he took ill for more than 2 weeks. Abu Bakr wanted a question for successor. He felt his end was near. Oops. There we go. So his choice was Umar radiallahu anhu, a supreme judge, and also in his absence he had been the imam. Umar radiallahu anhu was actually the judge of that time. He was a very he in his family at that time was, I'm pretty sure they were judges. And so he was a judge, a supreme judge. In his absence, he also been the imam of Abu Bakr, just like how when Rasulullah was sick, Abu Bakr led the prayer. Just like how Abu Bakr was sick, Umar led the prayer. Okay, so Abu Bakr consulted with Abdurrahman, Uthman, and Talha. Umar was the most appropriate person to be chosen as Khalifa, but was inclined towards strictness. Agreed there is none his equal amongst all, meaning no one, he's basically one of the best Muslims at that time. The thing that they disagreed was, if we have suffered so much from Umar while you were with us in controlling his strictness. Abu Bakr dictated him an ordinance appointing Umar anhu as his successor. His advice to Umar anhu is to temper hardness and severity with mildness and moderation. Okay, basically this, you don't need to know any of this. Basically, just everything just happened. Abu Bakr consulted with his people. His people agreed that Umar anhu should become the next Khalifa, except for the fact that he's too strict. But then they talked it out, and then they agreed. But Abu Bakr personally advised Umar anhu to control your hardness and severity with mildness and moderation. So don't be too strict on the people. That's literally what he basically said. He said, don't be too strict on the people. Okay. His last words were, Lord, make me die as a true believer. Take me to join the Blessed One on high. Day he passed away Monday, day 22, Jamad al-Akhir, year 13 AH. Kafan, the 2 garments he had on. Basically, the thing that he was wearing, that's what he died in it. That's what they buried him in, the 2 garments that he was wearing. New clothes. So basically, people are telling him, we will put you, give you a new coffin. They will put on 2 new fresh sheets when you die. But he said, no, new clothes befit the living, but old clothes befit the decaying body. Meaning this, just leave my old clothes on me because I'm dying. Next, where was he buried? He was buried right next to the Mubarak grave of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's where he was buried. Okay. Okay, so basically all you need to understand from this is basically the successor that they chose and the process, what happened. Okay, so I'm gonna ask this question and you guys can just answer by just looking at this stuff. Okay, so first question. Let me open up the people so I can see. So why did he call the shura? Actually, what is the shura, first of all? What is the shura? Rahim.
Like a government.
Yeah, like the small government at that time, like the advisory council. Yes. Okay. So why did he call them? Like, why did he want to talk with them? Anyone else? Naviha?
Oh, to consult with them maybe because he thought he
Can you see that again? I can't hear you.
was down.
Are you saying something? I can't hear you. Like, it's very, very quiet. Okay, anyways, anyone else want to answer? Come on, you answer. Why did he call the shura?
Me?
Yes.
What was the question?
Why did he call the shura?
Wait, what did he call it?
Why did he call the shura?
Why do you call it shoe? Because his Abu Bakr's illness got serious.
What?
Like when the illness of Sayadina Abu Bakr took a serious turn.
Okay. So why did he call them?
To consult. Wait,
Yes, to consult with them. Okay, yes. Just to pay attention more so you understand what we're talking about. Okay, anyone, next one. Name those Sahaba who are part of the Shura. Let me just go on the next page. Okay, oops. It says it on this page. Okay, name those Sahabas who are part of the Shura. Nabia?
Abdurrahman, Uthman, and Talha.
Yep, good. And who I gotta go back. Who objected his nomination? Who was saying who rejected that Umar should not be the Khalifa? There's two people. That's the hint. Shamu?
uh was it Sayadina Ali and Sayadina Talha?
Yep. Good. And why did they object? Why were they against Abu Bakr, Umar radiallahu anhu becoming the next Khalifa? Farah.
Because he was really strict.
Yeah, because he was really strict. Good. Like that he would be too hard on the people. That's what they were thinking. Like meaning because his rules, he would take everything too seriously and he'd be too strict. That's what they meant. Okay, good. Okay, let's go next. Okay, here. Okay, so this is the fill in the blank thing. Actually, it's the meaning of the word, and you have to say it. What is the word? Okay, so one word for an advisory council. Sayyidina Abu Bakr called this when he needed to make the choice of who would be the next Khalifa for after him. It's a word for advisory council, and he used this to, decide who the next Khalifa is. Kamo.
Sure.
Yep, good. Okay, and the name of the person who became Khalifa after Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu? Rahim.
Hazrat Umar.
Yep, good. Okay, one more. Sayyidina Umar was inclined towards Dash, and this was why people initially did not agree with him being the next Khalifa. Rahim?
Strictness.
Yep, good. The amount of weeks that Sayyidina Abu Bakr was okay, you guys don't probably remember that. Okay. The two garments that Sayyidina Abu Bakr had on when he was buried is called what? What is it called when you're buried? The sheets that you wear. Afra?
It's like a kafan or something.
Yep, kafan. Good. Okay. Okay, so now good. So you can go. So basically what we learned from this is that first is the shura. Shura is the advisory council that he had. So obviously in that time you don't have a whole government of that. So they were just a group of people who the leader would advise with. Like he would call them and he would make like it was like a council where they would talk about, because obviously a leader himself might make a wrong decision, right? So he needs people around him who he can talk to and make the right decision. Okay. Anyways, and that's the one thing we learned. The next thing we learned was how Umar radiallahu anhu became the Khalifa. It was because Abu Bakr proposed that he should become the next Khalifa. And then the why people were against it is because he was too strict. But then they ended up agreeing to it later on. And that's it. Okay. Okay, let me go to the next thing. Okay, so next after is when Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu passes away. Okay, after a fortnight's illness, of fortnight means 2 weeks, a Siddiq Abu Akbar passed away at the age of 61 on Monday, the 22nd Jamad al-Ukhra, 13 AH, or 23rd August 634. Okay, so before his death, he said to his daughter Sayyidatina Aisha radiallahu anha, also the wife of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, do not use new cloth for my shroud. Wash the sheet that is in my use and wrap my corpse in it. So the kafan that we talked about, how he was using is the clothes that he's currently wearing. Then use that one. His wish was acted upon. His next wish was to pay all the money he got as salary for Khalifa from Bayt al-Mal, the public treasury, after selling his garden. Yeah. Bayt al-Mal was like a bank type thing that they had. They would store all the valuable stuff there, and that's where he would get paid from. Basically, he would have an allowance from the Bayt al-Mal because he was a leader, right? He's not like he has like a source of income. It's not like he has a business or he's working as something like as a trader or something. So obviously he would get money from the Bayt al-Mal. Okay, like an allowance from the Bayt al-Mal, like a salary. Okay, but this was also like the place where people stored money. This was also the place where they would store spoils of war, just things like that. Anyways, so after selling his garden, I did not like to take anything from the Bayt al-Mal, but Umar pressed me to accept some allowance so that I would be relieved from my occupation and devote my full time to my duties of Khilafat. I was left no choice but to accept the offer. Okay, so he had a business before. He was actually, if you remember, he was one of the richest people, in Medina at that time. So after that, what happened was he left his work, like his business. He started taking money, like a small amount of money from the Bayt al-Mal, so that he could fully focus on his duties as a leader. And after that, he became like very not poor, but close to it. Like he would basically only have just food twice a day and things like that, and just wear simple clothings. After her father's death, Aisha radiallahu anha asked Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu to take over that garden as desired by her father. Umar radiallahu anhu remarked, may Allah bless him, he left no chance for anybody to open his lips against him. Okay, so what this means is basically when he sold his garden, right? He said that I want Umar radiallahu anhu to take over that garden. And he never said that to Umar before he died, because he knew Umar radiallahu anhu would say no. So what he did, that he didn't say anything until and Aisha radiallahu anha said after he died, so that no one could say anything to him. He can't even say no. Okay, so Sayyidina Abu Bakr. Okay, wait one second. Let me just quickly remind what happened here. So basically, what happened here is the top part is basically just talking about what we talked about before. How he said, "Let me use my old, use my current cloth that I'm wearing, and wrap that around my clothes. Don't give me a new cloth." And the second thing was that he's just talking about how he dropped his business to take some money from the Baitul Mal to focus on his leadership duties. Okay, that's all. The next one is that the last part that on the page is just talking about how the Abu Bakr wanted Umar radiallahu anhu to take over the garden, which he did. Okay. So Sayyidina Abu Bakr was a rich merchant before his Khilafat. So you were talking about he was a very rich person before that. After he was elected as Khalifa, Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu and some other companions pressured him to leave his business and accept some allowance from the Baitul Mal. He took the least possible amount, which was hardly sufficient for him and his family. Okay. Once his wife wanted to prepare some sweet dish and somehow managed to save some money after 1 month. After 1 whole month, she could finally afford to make some sweet dish. That's how bad it was. Like he was basically just taking as less money as possible as you could to just at least survive, because he didn't want to take too much. Because it's not like it's his earned money. That's why he didn't want to take it. Because you know how he had a business before, right? And he was a merchant. He was his own money. He could use it as much as he wants. So this one, he took as less money as possible just so he could just live off it. So when she finally brought the money to him to make the purchases from the sweet dish, Abu Bakr said, "It seemed that we have been overpaid beyond our needs." And he then went and deposited the savings into the Baitul Mal, and she was not able to prepare the sweet dish. Okay, like he started saying that he was being overpaid, even though he was barely getting paid. He was taking the least possible money. He said he was getting overpaid. After this, he got his allowance to be cut down for future by the amount saved by his wife. As Siddiq al-Akbar left behind a noble example of his selfless service, he lived and worked for the sake of Islam to his last breath, but sought no reward. Okay, he did this just for the sake of Allah and didn't want any reward. Like he was just taking the bare minimum money for him to survive. Okay. So on this page is just him talking. This is just talking about how he got pressured into leaving his work and taking money from the Baitul Mal to focus on his duties, but he took the least possible amount. And the next thing is just an example of how he didn't want any reward for any of his thing that he was doing. So even though his wife saved up money after a whole month, he was saying that he was being overpaid and put the money back in Baitul Mal for other people's use. So he wasn't using it. Okay. Let me now let's go on the thingies. Okay. Can I go back here? Okay. How long was Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu's illness? If I don't see someone's hand up after a lot of questions, I'm just gonna ask you randomly. So I want you to keep answering. Okay, Kamo.
14 days.
Yep. Good. What was the just tell me, what was the date of his demise and how old was he? Shalma.
He was 61 and he died on the 22nd of Jum'ada.
Yeah, Jama'at al-Ukhra, 13 age. Okay, good. Or in what our current year, 634. So now it's 2022. So it's been 1400 something years now. Okay. Good. What was his wish regarding the salary he received from the Baitul Mal? Kamu?
Was to pay all the money that he got as salary for Khalifa.
Yes. Okay, I completely forgot about this part, but this part is so all the money that he took over the years, he wanted to sell that. So how he sold that is how he sold it because he sold his garden. He gave away his garden. His garden was worth that much that as though all those 2 years that he's been taking money, the little amount of money he's been taking was equal to that garden. It was less than the garden. Like the garden cost way more, but he just gave that. And okay. But this anyone can answer this one. When Sayadina Abu Bakr radhiyallahu anhu passed away, his wish was to be buried in his old clothes, which were to be washed and used for his coffin. What does this teach us about the type of clothing Sayyidina Abu Bakr radhiyallahu anhu wore? Rahim.
Simple stuff.
Yep, just simple stuff. He didn't wear anything overly thing. Didn't waste money on anything. Just had the simple clothing. And he said in the previous chapter, as we read, he said, what did he say? He said, new clothes befit the living, meaning new clothes are, they look good on the living, but old clothes befit the decaying body. Old clothes look good on a decaying body because, the body's decaying. It just looks like it, right? That's what he said. Okay, so now this is fill in the not fill, it's a multiple choice type thing. So give you the 3 answers and you just tell me. Okay, before his Khilafat, Sayyidina Abu Bakr was a rich merchant, a rich farmer, or a rich gardener? Nabia?
A rich merchant.
Good. The Bayt al-Mal was the house of money, the savings of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, or the public treasury? Farah?
The public treasury.
Yep.
She stole my answer.
Oh. Oh, sorry. So sorry if I forgot about you. Usually Farah, and it says Farah and Zara. Okay. After his Khilafat, Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu and other companions pressured Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu to take some money from the Bayt al-Mal for his needs, save some money for when a need arose, or leave his business and accept some allowance from the Bayt al-Mal. Okay, I'll say it again. Take some more money from the Bayt al-Mal for his needs, or leave his business and take some money, or save some money. Nabia.
Leave his business and accept some allowance from the Baitul Mal.
Yep, good. Leave his business and then also accept some allowance. Because obviously, how is he gonna live without any money? So he took the least amount of money. Also, again, why he didn't take a lot of money is because this is the people's money. Like people put in the money here, right? This is like the public treasury. People put money in it, and then it and then it gets used for the. Sorry, what is going on? It gets used like with it gets used in the city basically. Used in the city, and technically Abu Bakr is the city, like he's the leader of the city, right? So he gets paid from the public treasury, but he didn't take a lot of money. He just took the bare amount of money, bare minimum amount of money, and lived like that. Okay. Okay, and there we go. That's it for now. Now I was gonna give you guys you have 2 more chapters left. We'll be done Abu Bakr's thing next week, but I want to start give you guys the chapters now for your presentations there. So let me show a picture of let me show a picture of this on the screen. There's 16 chapters, and there's what? How many of you guys? 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 people and 16 chapters. Okay. Okay. Okay, so here is the contents. There's 16 chapters, meaning some people will have to do 3. How many would have to do 3? If so, there's 6 people, right? They're doing 12. That means there's 4 extra chapters. Oh, never mind. Actually, no, 4 people would have to do 3. Okay, okay, got it. 4 people have to do 3. Now, who? Okay, so let me sort this out now. Okay, so who wants to do the early life and noble qualities in the first man except Islam? Those 2. Or should I just give them out randomly? Wants to do lesson 1 and 2?
Huzaifa, can I have
Yes.
lesson 7?
Lesson 7. Okay, sure. We'll get there. Who wants to do lesson 1 and 2 first?
I'll do it.
Okay, you do it next. Okay, the next ones are lesson 3 and 4. Who wants to do that? Three and
I'll-
4. 3 and 4.
I'll do 3 and 4.
You do 3 and 4. Okay. Okay. Actually, I should be writing this down. Okay. Actually, when I tell you, can you just write your own name when I give you your lessons? Just write your own name and what lesson and 2. Just write 1 and 2. So Shama, write Shama 1 and 2, and for you just write for 3 and 4. Just so in the chat. Okay. So and next is lesson 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm gonna give this is 4 chapters. Actually, no. I'll give you 3. You said you want a 7, right?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay, I see.
Wait, I have 5, 6, and 7.
No. You 5, 6, and 7. Yeah, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, just write that. Write him 5, 6, and 7. Who wants to do 8? Wait, so 8. Who wants to do 8 and 9? How many people are left? There's 3 people left. Okay, who wants to do 8 and 9? So Kamal, you're left. Kamal's left. Nabia's left. And Zara's left. And Rishpa's left. There's 4 people. Never mind. Okay. Who's doing 8 and 9? Kamal, you want to do 8 and 9?
Oh, I was thinking of doing 12 and 13.
12 and 13? Okay. Ushpa, Nabiyat.
I wasn't here for those chapters.
It's fine. I'm just gonna send you a picture. You just have to do a presentation. You can just do a quick small presentation on it.
Okay, then I can do those.
If you can do them, okay. So 8 and 9 are yours. Which one did you say? You said, Kamal, which one did you say?
I said 12 and 13.
Okay. 12 and 13. Okay, yeah, you can do 12 and 13. Just write that down. And who's up? We have Zara and Ushpa left. Okay.
I can do 10 and 11.
You could do 10, 11, and Ushpa do the last 4. They're all just 1-page chapters.
Okay.
Okay, good. Now write this down yourself, guys, and I will send you guys, because we don't have a book of this. Like I should be doing this. Okay, I took a screenshot of this anyways. So I remember. I'll send you guys a chapter. Your chapters. There you go. Okay. Okay, so send you guys your chapters on your emails. Also, Nabil, can you send me your email in the chat? Just for future purposes, I can send you things and I can send you your book pages right now. Okay. Anyways, that is it. Just remember your presentations. Try I want some of you, at least most of you, to be done it like this week, like this Thursday. And latest is the next week Thursday, because obviously we can't do all the presentations in one class. So we're obviously going to do 2 classes. So this week and next week. Next week is final. But most people try to finish it like this week. Okay. Anyway, subhanallah bihamdihi, subhanakallah wa bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Assalamu ala al-mursaleen. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I sent you my email also for the presentations. Do just like make a slideshow or something.
Yeah, just make a slideshow on just, what they're talking about, some important things. Yeah, and also in the end include like questions that you're gonna ask the people.
Okay, thanks.
You know how I ask questions at the end?
Yeah.
Like those type of questions, just just make your own questions and then ask everyone else in the class and they'll answer.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, welcome.